Hey, Book 2, I'm gonna try this again. Apparently, I made a video that's too long, so we'll keep this one shorter. I went to my local library sale. This was a clearance sale. It was a 3-day sale. And the first day, everything was $1. And the next day, everything was still $1, but you can fill a paper bag, a large paper bag full of paperbacks for $5. And on the last day, you can fill all that same bag up with anything that was left in the sale, which was still a fair amount. But they did have a good sale for $5. So I really cleaned up on the last day. Cool thing about this sale was there was a bunch of books there that I was looking at the previous sale. So for whatever reason, money or space or whatever, space is still an issue. I didn't get them then, but I got them now. So there was some good finds. This is by no means, this isn't everything. I'm just gonna kind of go through these real quick. First up, these were inspired by Steve Donahue. I remember him speaking on these books by Colleen McCullough, who you might know best as the author of The Thorn Birds, which I often think of Seth Meyers during COVID. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I guess you didn't see his videos from the attic. Anyway, Terminator 2, nice paperback tie-in. You don't see these very much. I probably haven't seen this since the 90s. Some more paperbacks. We got Ed McBain, 80 Million Eyes, Louis L'Amour's The Keylock Man. This one's in really nice shape. Highbrow stuff here. Space Cops High Moon. Was this on tour? What is this on? I can't make it out on the spine. That's crazy. Joan Hess. Are you familiar with Joan Hess? I wasn't, but came across a bunch of her books. Thought I'd check them out. A Really Cute Corpse. It's a fun title. These are all like 90s. A Die to Die For. Death by the Light of the Moon. And Dear Miss Demeanor. So these strike me as being fun. What else we got? First book I grabbed, Cicero, The Nature of the Gods, an old Penguin book. Still in nice shape, mild yellowing, not too bad. Some Tom Clancy. We got nonfiction and fiction. This is Cold War stuff. This is Desert Storm era. There's Tom and the General. Frank's back on the back here. Go check them out. William Blake, Songs of Innocence and Experience. These are these poems with color reproductions of his artwork. And there are some notations in here. I was trying to find, that's really nice. And what else we got? Inside the Mueller Investigation by Andrew Weissman. I have never seen this book. It just totally flew under my radar. So I'm flipping through it. It definitely struck me as interesting. And one that was actually on my, usually I'm gonna say one that was on my wish list. Usually when I go to these sales, I'm not actually finding books that I've been looking for. I'm usually finding books that I don't, sometimes I've never seen, or I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that, or rarely is anything actually on my want list, but this one was. And this Edgar Allan Poe biography, I've heard good things about. So this is really cool to find for $1. What else we got? We got The Wolf. Some nonfiction here. World War I German era seafaring adventure. Michio Kaku, Quantum Supremacy. And this book is pretty much new. And yeah, for the highbrow days. Speaking of highbrow, we have 8 Black Horses by Ed McBain. Old school hardcover. McBain. The Fall of Colossus. And this is the sequel to, or a new novel by the author of the Forbin Project, which was, I remember, made into a film. Old school. Somebody taped the dust jacket on. What are you gonna do? Andy Summers of The Police. I had no idea he had a memoir out. These are, these band member memoirs are either good or you wind up being repulsed by the person. I don't know. Some of the ones I read a couple years ago, like Duff McKagan's and John Taylor of Duran Duran, I thought those were really good. So yeah, check it out for $1. I'm sure Andy has led a very interesting life. American Caesars by Nigel Hamilton. This is a book on the lives of presidents from Roosevelt to George W. Bush. So yeah. And do you want to know anything about the French Revolution? Well, then you might want to get this book. And this book is part 4 in a 4-volume set, which I don't have the other volumes, but I do have this one, and it was only $1. So I'm going to learn about French Revolution. There's a bunch of French Revolution books there, clearly all from one person's collection. And I guess he or she was done with them. Mike Pompeo's Never Give an Inch, former Secretary of State, former CIA director. Funny, I was flipping through this, saw some funny comments about Rex Tillerson's opinion of Trump on here. Check it out. This is one I looked at a previous sale, and I'm glad it was still there. Simon Schama's The Embarrassment of Riches. This is an interpretation of Dutch culture in the Golden Age. A lot of the text struck me as very kind of academic, but it's really well illustrated throughout. Of course, it's not showing there, but it's all black and white. But it definitely struck me as a very interesting book. Heavy, good, and the binding's good on this. I actually had to pass up on some books because you could just tell the binding was just crack right off the bat. H.G. Wells, The Outline of History. This is some nonfiction by well, you should know who Wells is. And this is volume 2. I actually might have volume 1, and but it doesn't have this dust jacket. It may even be volume 2. I don't know. I didn't see volume 1 there, and what are you gonna do? And here's a very nice one, especially for $1. This must be pricey to print. This is True Crime. This is an anthology edited by Harold Schechter, who has written some notable books of his own. And check out all these authors on the back here. Some real surprises on there, like Cotton Mather and Abraham Lincoln, and Theodore Dreiser and such, Anne Rule. Well, I would expect more Anne Rule than some of the others. But this is actually on the Library of America publication. So that's a really nice find for $1. And what else we got here? Quantum Supremacy. We got all those. Colleen McCullough. There's more, but I think that's good for now. We got 8 minutes on here. Thanks for listening.